Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We are trying out StreamYard, and we're trying to see if, this is what I did was I went over to YouTube, and started I want to actually bring people over to the YouTube channel because Facebook, for whatever reason, um, let's see. I want to also hang with me here. Tap on a comment to show it on a screen. Do me a favor, you guys. Somebody just say hello in the comments because this is all we're trying something new this morning. So do me a favor and leave a comment real quick if you can. Let me see if I can do one. Morning. Okay. It shows that I made a comment. Somebody else do me a favor and do a comment really quick. Just say hello. There we go. There's Shannon. Thank you so much. Well, welcome this morning. And, I wanted to start building over here on the YouTube channel because sadly, Facebook doesn't allow you to share the videos that you create on Facebook. So when we go live on Facebook, it doesn't allow for you to, hey Heather, doesn't allow for you to, broadcast over onto YouTube. So we're giving this a shot, and what I might eventually do later is, broadcast it both onto Facebook and YouTube. But I wanted to, come to you guys this morning and just kind of kick off, some series of chats that we can do together. And a couple of days ago, you all might have seen me go live. So today is July 23rd, 2022, just for reference, if this video shows up anytime later. But, I went live the other day to share with you guys some struggles that I've been having. And it has been, just an outpouring of love and kindness and prayers and all of that. And man, I sure appreciate that so much. It still is a battle. I will tell you that the mornings, for some reason, so, I don't know, I'll just give a recap. About 2 weeks ago, I found out that, I was around some people for 4th of July, and they called me on a couple days later and let me know that they were not feeling well, that they had tested positive for COVID. And so then all of a sudden I got, sick too. And but what came with that was so many other things. What came with that was a very deep, dark pit of ugly depression. And when I would wake up in the morning, it would be just severe nausea. And so I got through the first couple of days of fever and just some of those symptoms that were over there. But for these last 2 weeks, it has been a battle when I would wake up in the morning. And so the nausea has improved, I will say that. So as of today, it's not as bad. I'm still eating ginger chews, to help out with the nausea. But there is, in the morning, I feel like I sleep fine, but in the morning, I feel like a junkie that is withdrawing. Like I'm going to jump out of my skin. I don't ever have, issues with anxiety. I don't like to, claim, something like that. I don't like to put that identity on myself or, claim that as anything. But that is, I think, what I've been experiencing. And it's overwhelming. It's horrific. And there's nothing I can do to change my environment. There's nothing I can do, or I change my environment, but there's nothing I can do that, is helping with that. So, but one thing I also want to share, that it could be a combination, because I had been dealing with, some sadness and, struggles and, feeling forsaken, like I had mentioned on my live the other day, feeling that I had been forsaken by God and all of that. That has been going on for, where it just kind of came to a head in February. And, I would have really sad days, but then this sickness put me into one of the worst, pits of sorrow that I had ever experienced. And my mom, bless her, said, when I was dealing with something like this before, my doctor prescribed Wellbutrin to me. And I said, well, Mom, you know, I know that that has been helpful for other people. And then there was a time in my life that I had taken antidepressants, but it is, in the last, I don't know, 9 years, I have not wanted to, it's just not my, it goes against my beliefs, I guess you would say, um, for me, I didn't ever want to take something on a daily basis, because I had seen, whether it, it worked or it didn't work, or, just, it just didn't feel like it was like giving it much of a balance. And I didn't want to rely on something. I had gone through a journey, for, um, about 6.5 years ago. I had gone through some heartbreak, and I was determined to battle through that and not have myself numbed to where it would then show up later. That was just for me. I was afraid of doing that. And so I went ahead and gave in and started taking this medicine, and it's 150 milligrams, and then you do it twice a day. I think that that was what was contributing to this, the anxious feelings. I started to wean off of it, to where it, last night I did not take it, and this morning I only took half of one. And I'm not. I can say that I'm not crying. I can say that I'm not. You know, but I still am having this anxious feeling and stuff like that. So that is definitely something that might have been a contributor to what was going on for me in these last couple of weeks. So, I wanted to share that with you guys, that it's, whether somebody wants to do, I am not against anyone feeling like that's something for them. I am not critical to anyone that chooses that direction. I just feel like spiritually it gets in the way for me. It's kind of like why I just don't choose to drink, very often. I don't really choose to drink alcohol very often, because I know what it's doing to my system. I know I'm going to have to detox all that junk out, and I don't like the way that it makes me feel. So I'm just choosing not to do it. Well, this is my thing. I feel like that it made me worse. um, there were, thoughts, it just was too much all at once. So that might be something that, is going to help in the coming days, to where I am not having those issues. A couple of housekeeping things, so what I want to do is, I thought, this morning, yeah, Heather says makes my spirit unsettled. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I felt like it was, I really don't know what was going on for me. It could have very simply been, that I was in a dark battle, and it just coincidentally that I took this, that medicine, and that it was making things worse. I don't know, but all I can say is that I just feel like it was. I don't feel like it's for me. I feel like I just need to, battle through this, and I can. I can do this. I've had such dark places and heartbreak, and my journey that I've been on. I have had so many, I've had days like the other day when you all just surrounded me, and if I felt like I was being forsaken by God, he sure showed up with all of you, like all of you that surrounded me and gave me love. And that's what we need to do for each other. I don't like to indulge prolonged sitting in a pit of yuck. Um, I don't want to, you know, I know that everybody has their own battles that they're going through, and that's why I wanted to talk, today about light versus dark, or light and dark, not light versus dark, light and dark, because they go together, and there's nothing that we can do to get away from days of darkness. So when I had, my moment, I'm not going to stay down. But I do need for, I needed you guys. You guys were amazing for me, and I needed that. And so we need to be doing that for each other. We need to be there for each other. And I had my friend Rachel, she's precious, show up yesterday, and she brought me some sunflowers, and she brought some scratcher some scratcher tickets, and they were 3 different scratcher tickets, but doubles, and we both scratched them off together. And we just said, hey, if we win anything, we'll just split it. And so we did. We won $37, but I thought that was such a just a funny idea, and a fun idea that she did, and it was so thoughtful. And I really enjoyed getting to visit with her and that kind of thing. So anyway, I was in my pit of darkness where I could not function. You all were there, for me. And, but even though it's a struggle when I wake up, I'm not going to stay in that place. I woke up thinking, okay, what am I going to do? And what am I going to do with this? Because I believe that I am creating a testimony, even over the last, um, you know, however long, heartbreak for me, was, several years ago. And I feel like I was starting to create my own journey that I was on. I know that I was, maybe given those things so that then I could help others. And so in the meantime, I was learning, grace. I was learning, my position with God. I was learning not to turn away, from Him. But there was times that I did, and so this is going to be, I believe, like the beginning of me going back to what I was doing for everyone. I was able to share inspiration. I was able to share, things that would get dumped into my spirit. I was able to then share that with people, and go live, and we would kind of battle through some things. It was almost like I went ahead. I went ahead of people in some of these struggles, where then I could kind of carry the buckets, of water, while people are in their own, place of flames, and things going wrong. So I know what my soul's purpose is. I know it is to maybe have gone ahead and dealt with a lot of things. And that is dealt with. It's not stayed in the problem. It's dealt with them. And then I'm able to, share with others and give insight and love and, all of that. I believe that that is what we should be doing for each other. I feel like that we should, as a community, we need to be lifting everybody up. We need to be doing, you know, uh, mm, just surrounding each other, so that we can get through, hard times, because they're not going to go away. And so a couple of things I want to share is, housekeeping things. I think I'm going to, be starting to do this over here on YouTube, because it saves the video, where we're not having that on Facebook. I know that I have more engagement on Facebook, but that's why I made the post over there for people to come, to YouTube. A couple of things I'll share is, I'm probably going to have things that I refer, things that I have tried, things that I'm doing. I'm going to share those things with you guys, in the event that it's something that you want to try. I try things that are, work for me, and, maybe they're going to work for you. A lot of you know that I'm a thriver, and I'll make sure that I put, my link in my description box there. That helps us with energy. It helps us with all of the nutrients that we need to fill nutritional gaps and things that are missing from our diet and those kinds of things. So you all know about Thrive. It's amazing stuff. I'll put that link in the description box. Another thing that has dumped into my space, a friend of mine told me about, is a great solution to things that are going on with, how much we're spending on gas. And yeah, the gas prices are starting to come down a little bit. But there is a product that you put in your gas tank and it helps you to have better gas mileage. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. But I know that there is one company out there that is promoting this. I believe that is the copycat. So the original, the OG has not been launched yet, but as soon as it is, I'm going to try it myself. And I have seen, people show their side by side of before and after, and it sure shows that they're getting better gas mileage by putting this little tablet in their gas tank. I don't know. I mean, anything helps, right? So that's something. Another thing I've kind of taken a pause from how much I was doing with this, but I have, a few weeks ago, I started to dive into learning about trading, and that is so outside of my wheelhouse. But there's an app that actually helps people like me that have no clue what they're doing with trading. And it's an app that gives you suggestions on what to trade. It's almost like people that have stockbrokers that call them and say, hey, there's a stock that you should buy, and here, go for it, if you want, if you choose to. And it's kind of like they're doing the work and giving the suggestion, where I don't have time to go and search these things. I don't know it. I don't know how to do trading. I'm not, it's not my wheelhouse. It doesn't blow up my skirt. It's not something that makes me excited. However, I do understand that foreign exchanges, currencies that are, foreign exchanging, like the dollar to the yen, or, something like that. There is a gap on, they're not balanced. So there is going to be like a difference, and you're able to earn off of that, I guess. So anyway, that is this great app that I started using, and I'm demoing it right now to see if it's something that, I have to learn. I'm just learning or getting comfortable. I'm not really learning it much because it's kind of like a cut and paste. I don't have to really know anything. But anyway, so I will put some of those things down in the comments, and then, as we get going and we start coming together, and we just sit in this kind of fireside chat and discuss things. I'm going to, we'll have a space where you guys, if you want to donate, if you want to donate, we can do different things with that. We can, it can help with how broadcast, how, getting broadcasting is better, and that kind of thing. Sharing with you a couple of things. As I was going through, I'm going to say to you, when I started my journey, and of healing, I went through a really tough heartbreak, and then I was forced to go through this healing journey. And with that, I was able to then help a lot of people. I was able to share, insight. I was able to solve people's issues. I would have people calling me, and, I felt like I was then stepping into what my soul's purpose was. I had to go through what I went through and have, that removed from my life, even though it was like the rug ripped out from underneath me. I had to have that removed from my life so that I could be set up to do what I'm supposed to do. And I would get people calling, saying, hey, Cindy, I am stuck with my business. Well, we would start talking about the, being stuck. And, I would go into what it was that they felt like they were stuck with. And I would, talk to them about, well, what do you feel like is in your way? And I feel, they're like, well, I feel like I'm afraid of rejection. Okay, well, rejection didn't just start. When did you first feel rejected? Well, the conversation would then go into like a healing session of old traumas, or, patterns that have been since childhood or something like that. And so, and that all came like where I was a channel, I was like emptied, and I was a channel for God, to help some people. And so I feel like that is what I am supposed to do. And, so I got into where I started to put out there that I was going to start doing some spiritual coaching. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, then everything fell apart. I fell apart. And I started to see that we're going to have seasons like that. And we're going to have where, we need to go through things. And we're also going to be in a battle where a lot of people that are very spiritual, very connected, very empathetic. People are empaths of the world that can feel other people's energies and things like that. They are probably going to be affected the most. So I want to share with you my dear friend Becky sent me a beautiful thing, a text to make me just one of the people that have been here while I was battling what I was battling, lately. And she sent this to me, and so I want to read it with you because it might resonate. Dear deep feeler, we need you just as you are, sensitive, messy, dangerously perceptive, alive with feeling. Those dark places you go are painful, I know. But your brilliance lights the way for others who do not dare to go to those places unaided. You are a visionary, even when it feels like you are lost. Dare to keep feeling it all. The others are watching and learning from you. So I thought that was just beautiful because there's so many of us like that. There's so many people that help take the hand of others, to guide or to say, hey, I understand how you feel and that kind of thing, and help that person have some insight or help that person have some healing or give them perspective or, help them understand what they're going through or, something like that. And I do believe that we volunteered for this time of this giant earth shift, of this awakening, of this transmuting, of this exposure of things that are not of God. Our planet is, in sadness, but we have to have the darkness. We have to have the hard times. We have to whether it's individually hard times, like what I've been going through, and many of you also have been going through. But it's not just the whole world it's our individual people that are facing those things too. But all of that being transmuted, we have to see the contrast of dark and light. Like I had to be stripped of every distraction that I had lately so that I could get back to surrendering to God, to just saying, I cannot do this. And not having, I've always had an assumption of God, like God is never not with me. Well, that almost became complacent. It became, because it was an assumption, I know God's there all the time. That was not having me pull him in and have him take over when I was unable to do this on my own. And so it had me, the dark stuff that I was going through, I had to strip myself of everything so that I could just be, completely open and surrendering myself, just laying myself, on my face and, weeping and saying, I can't do this. I need help. And so, the one thing I will share with you that has been such a great reminder. I had another friend that I got to sit with, after I went live, I had a friend reach out and say, hey, I'd like to give you some, time. And, she is a holistic nurse and her name is Nicole Lahonen. And she sat with me and we talked for a really long time. And she was able to give me some amazing reminders of some things. And one is that God told us he'd never forsake us. Like that's how I have felt. I have felt forsaken. I have felt like my prayers are not heard. I have felt like I am not loved because I would have so many things that would be almost, but not quite. Or it looked like I was getting the prayer was being answered, and then it would get ripped away. And I'd be left going, what just happened? Even like the financial help that I need, there have been 2 or 3 different things that have shown up, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the answer to my prayers. And then all of a sudden it gets ripped away. And it's no longer there. And it's no longer available to me. And I'm going, what is it that I need to learn? What is going on here? Well, so that was one of the reasons why I felt forsaken, was that my prayers, I didn't understand. I just didn't understand why I wasn't catching a break. And I didn't understand. I know that we don't get punished. I know that our suffering comes really from ourselves. It doesn't come from God. And so I also know that scripture tells us that God will never forsake us, but I just kept praying. I understand that you'll never forsake me. I just don't want things to get worse than they are. And please, just help me. But the other thing that was such a great reminder was in Exodus, where the Israelites, are trying to make it, through the desert. And God actually provides the manna, right? God provides the manna every day for that week. And so people were sustained each and every day. It was get enough for today. I will provide enough for today. And if they kind of got like afraid and fearful that they weren't going to have some for tomorrow and they got too much, it would rot, right? It went bad because they weren't believing that each day they would be provided for. And so I think about that today I have food in my belly. I have clean water. I have a roof over my head. I have, cool air in my home to get out of the heat. I have everything that I need today. And that's all I need to worry about. That's all I need to concern myself with. I want to share with you quick, and then I want to wrap this up here, because we've been with each other for about a half an hour. But I got into this desperation mode of searching for things that could help me to rescue my thoughts and my spirit and my anxiousness and the feeling of drowning and the feeling like I'm, a junkie withdrawing, the just unsettled and despair and all of that. So I just was looking in all of my things, and I found a book called The Battle Belongs to the Lord, right? And in chapter 1, it says, God wants us to be totally free from fear. He doesn't want us to live in torment, and he doesn't want fear to stop us from confidently doing what he tells us to do. When we have a deep understanding concerning God's perfect, unconditional love for us, we realize he will always take care of everything that concerns us. That knowledge eventually delivers us from fear. As we have experience with God, and see that he always takes care of us and provides what we need, we begin to relax. And scripture says there is no fear in love, but full-grown love turns fear out of doors and expels every trace of terror. For fear brings with it the thought of punishment. And so he who is afraid has not reached the full maturity of love. So that's 1 John 4:18. So that really, that really helped me to realize that I just need to chill out. I need to surrender. I need to set aside my fears, because I already know. I know that fear is the absence of faith. And so, taking God's hand and really just being in his presence and allowing him to do his work. But what I also know is that I have to see the contrast every once in a while. I have to go through these seasons of seeing the contrast of light and dark. not light versus dark, but light and dark, because it is the polarization of one goes with the other. And so in order to appreciate the light, I have to be in the darkness. And I certainly have been there in these especially these last 2 weeks, just in a pit of disgusting, smelly, nasty sorrow, constant crying, just not myself. And I needed to be there so then I could understand and just strip away everything that was in the way. So with that, you guys, in my healing journey, I know that I am creating a testimony. I know that all of what I am going through right now, I am creating a testimony. And I'm also creating, maybe even a guidebook that will help other people. Because there have been people that have come before me, and not only people that have come before me that have gone through challenges, but also people that are there to hold my hand and remind me that I'm loved, and stick with me even when I don't want to hear it, or even if I ignore what they're not, I don't respond back. They stay with me. I still get a message from them. I get something in the mornings. How are you doing? How's this morning treating you? I got a bunch of messages this morning. It was beautiful. And but what I want you all to know is, I don't want anybody, like, one of my fears is that my people, my circle, is going to get tired of me not getting better. And I have to remember that helps me. I realize that that's not happening, because I know that I'm not going to stay stuck. I know that I'm going to push forward. And I think of, my friends and my family members that are just here, and they're helping me get through, what I'm facing. And so that for me also helps me have empathy for other people when they're facing their dark times too. So I really feel like that we can come together. I don't know what we're going to chat about, anything and everything. We're going to chat about how, why we volunteered to be here at this time. We're going to chat about, things going on, and what we can do to get through, these tough times. We're going to chat about what our purposes are. We're going to chat about how to overcome things. We are going to come together and raise the vibration of the world. We're going to raise the vibration so that we can move through this a lot quicker. A lot of people used to ask me in the last 2 years of going through what we've gone through, they would say, when is this going to be over? Well, when we decide, when we stop feeding into, the fear and all of the things that are going on, we have to go through this. We have to be broken wide open. And so it's not just collectively, it's individually. Like, I need to go through my stuff now. And when I go through it, then I'm doing my own healing, then I am sending ripples out to the collective to help with their healing too. So each and every time that you are working through some hard times, you're actually, and you're coming out the other side, you're actually helping to send out a frequency, to help the collective. So I want to thank everybody for, hopping on today. And I really would like to come together more often. I'd love to, I have, like I mentioned it, middle of this, I would, I have things that I refer, the things that I'm using, so I'm going to do that often. I'm going to try different things and, tell you guys what I, give you websites or, give you different things like that, so that you can try them yourself, and things that might be working for me. But we are going to come together and we are going to link arms and solve issues, because I am a problem solver. I don't want to stay in my pit of yucky. I want to get all through this. And if I'm getting through it, then I can maybe have, show others, that we can get through. All of us together can do this together. So I sure appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hopping over to YouTube. We're going to try to, get off of Facebook, because Facebook doesn't always let me save my video. it'll, and it certainly doesn't let them have it to go put onto YouTube. So I'm probably going to alert people on Facebook that we're going to be over on YouTube. So then we'll always have the videos that we can refer back to. All right. So thanks so much, you guys. And thank you again for everybody just surrounding me the other day. I sure appreciate that. That was, you know, it's been a tough 2 weeks, and I poured my heart out and shared with you, you know, what was going on with me, and it certainly has been a battle. The mornings are the toughest for me, but it seems to be getting a little bit better. And today was, while it was tough, it was not like it was. So we're getting through it, right? And coming together, we're going to be able to get through it together. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You are all in my prayers. I'm going to hop off of here and spend some time praying for all of you. And we'll come back together here pretty soon. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.